Yesterday, I made a Day 1 video regarding Haitham's outlook in terms of playstyle and weapons, where I elaborated on how I think he should be played, and what could work for him. Long story short, he's a character who can be used in a traditional sustained DPS role, but his rotations seem to be extremely flexible, potentially allowing him to be a burst DPS as well if you need it. Today, my calculations are at a more advanced stage, so I can provide a more accurate opinion regarding his best builds and weapons. Starting from a couple general things, one thing I got asked a lot after yesterday's video, is whether or not I accounted for spread procs in my calcs, and the answer is yes, I did. You have to understand I'm not your average theory crafter. Jokes aside, I applied spread procs by counting them based on standard internal cooldown on everything, since that's what it seems to be at the moment according to my sources. Something else I also assumed is that you always have at least 250 elemental mastery in terms of buffs from external sources. Then, about the rotation I used, namely elemental skill, then 4 normal attack 1 plus charged attack, elemental burst, 3 normal attack 1 plus charged attack. In this combo you technically get 3 mirrors for the first part of the combo, then they drop to 2 before you use his elemental burst, and then you get another one from the burst for the rest of the combo. Whether or not this is the best combo, it's up in the air, also because using that many charged attacks can be very punishing for stamina. That said, in my experience there is small difference between different combos as long as they're similarly long in terms of duration, which also means Haitham is a really forgiving character when it comes to mistakes, as mistiming an elemental burst usage is not going to screw you over. For example, if you use the burst with 1 stack remaining when you were supposed to use it with 2 stacks, you'll get an additional mirror stack after the burst regenerates them, which will make up for the damage you lost. This makes Haitham even more flexible. Now, about his artifacts. Since he's partially an elemental mastery scaling character, he benefits a lot from those, with 4 pieces Gilded Dreams being his best option all around assuming you have 2 Dendro characters on the team. Regardless of the teammates, the set damage output remains around the same since Haitham has great attack scaling in his kit, and he benefits a lot from any attack buff since you generally build him at low attack values. In fact, once you have enough elemental mastery, attack starts being just as valuable as EM, so keep that in mind. What's good here is that 2 pieces options are nice alternatives to full Gilded Dreams, giving him nice flexibility in terms of builds. Regarding substats, your priority should be satisfying the energy recharge requirements for your specific team, as Haitham has a pretty high elemental burst energy cost, and the burst is an essential part of his rotation. In fact, you should avoid using him as the only Dendro unit on team, since his ER requirements are extremely high there, even considering 2 Favonius weapons on teams. Meanwhile, with Nahida on team and 1 Favonius, his requirements become more manageable, but still something you have to keep in mind for artifacts. After that, crit substats are great, then elemental mastery and attack percent are both good. Regarding main pieces, EM Sans is generally your best choice, although attack Sans is not incredibly below that depending on the weapon you use. For Goblet, Dendro damage is unquestionably the best choice, then critical stat circlet as usual. Now, I have an updated chart about his weapon choices. As you can see, his signature weapon is not looking much better than other 5 stars options. This is because Jade Cutter and Mist Splitter are extremely good weapons on their own, and since their higher attack values scale well with Haitham's kit, they're very good overall for him. One of the weapons I added, namely Heron, performs a bit poorly here since it's a rotation with many charged attacks in it, but it might stack up better in rotations having more normal attacks, and even shorter duration rotations since its normal attack buff lasts 8 seconds, while this rotation is around 11 seconds in total. If you're wondering whether or not you should save for his signature weapon, it just doesn't seem worth it at the moment if you have one of the other great 5 stars options, both in terms of damage and quality of life. In fact, usually 5 stars characters have specific caveats which are only satisfied by their signature weapons, while in this case Haitham has several good options with universal passives that fit on him very well, while not having particular caveats of any kind. I'm done for today. Tomorrow I will release a video regarding my thoughts on his team building options, so make sure to tune in for that. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a thumbs up and subscribe. See you next time.